Hi guys, my name is Sam Dandy, and we're live at a one-of-a-kind initiative here at the U.S. Consulate in Lagos, Nigeria. Now we're looking forward to listening and talking about plans to foster a stronger relationship between the American and Nigerian film industry. In fact, I'll be talking with 3 American filmmakers, and the hope, of course, is to discuss how to explore the possibilities of investing, right, in both sides. I'm looking forward to this conversation. This is News Center Television. Let's get into it. All right, you're a filmmaker yourself.
Yes.
How has that been?
Oh wow, how has that been being a filmmaker? It has been a life's joy,
Okay.
but it also has been a very challenging process.
Mm-hmm.
But in that, I wouldn't want to do anything else with my life.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing where as an adult I get to play in a sandbox every day of my life, and I'm really fortunate to be able to tell stories. But not only be able to tell stories, be able to reflect and tell stories of us.
Mm.
And when I say us, that's intercontinental, right? That just ain't America, that just ain't Africa. That's us, the world. So.
What are you looking forward to doing in Nigeria?
So I'm here actually with Film Independence Global Media Makers as a mentor,
Okay.
which is trying to provide a bridge between Hollywood and the film industry that you have here.
Okay.
So I'm here to both mentor, but also to be inspired. Like I'm so inspired by what the film industry has been able to do here.
What are some of the challenges that you have faced personally, over the 10 years that you've tried to build your career?
One of the biggest challenges, I think, across continents is finding the financing to make films.
Right.
Filmmaking and cinema is our most expensive art form.
That is true.
And also it's a very collaborative medium. So it's not something that you can really go out and make on your own, like a painting or, clothing, or different music. So the biggest challenge is just getting people to believe in your vision and to be as passionate about your story as you are.
I have to ask you, of course, for someone who works with other people that want to be filmmakers or are filmmakers, what do you think is the challenges that they face? What are some of the challenges that filmmakers face?
How long do you have?
There are that many? All right, let's take a few of them.
It's first finding someone that would say yes. So I'm happy to be a person that a lot of the times is the first yes for someone.
Okay.
I love that. That makes me very happy.
All right.
So someone has to trust yourself that you have something great and keep going and keep working on it and take it around and take a no and another no. And you put something out and people did not react, did not pay attention.
Yeah.
And you have just to keep going on and doing it until you become undeniable.
I like that.
So that's for me what is the most difficult, that you have to persevere until you become undeniable, where nobody could say no anymore because you're so good.
How important is it to tell, your story? Now, when I say your story, it could be, of course, an American telling his story, a Nigerian telling their story. Why is that super important in filmmaking or in storytelling as a whole?
Well, I think at the end of the day, right? Films they're the reflection of our society and culture, right? And I think it's very, very important now as time goes on that we take the reins of our stories.
Right.
Whether that's Black folks, that's women, whoever that may be, I think it's very important that we then start to communicate to the world through our lens of how we walk and exist.
Right.
Yeah.
Why would you say you decided to go into filmmaking?
I always knew I wanted to be a storyteller. When I was very young, I didn't know how I wanted to tell stories. I was interested in everything, but I knew that stories were very important to me. And I loved watching movies and being able to escape, and learn about different parts of the world. And honestly, I really can't imagine myself doing anything else.
That's so cool.
But they say you have to be crazy to choose being an artist.
What do you look out for? I want to say not everyone who wants to be a filmmaker will be successful at it. But what would you say is that thing that maybe we'll say makes a successful filmmaker?
Oh, I could see passion.
Okay.
I could see passion. I receive a lot of applications. I could see authenticity.
Okay.
Those are the two things that grab me. When I'm reading, I run a program for filmmakers where I help them develop their projects. When I'm reading their applications, I just get really bored if I see someone trying to answer or tell me things that they think I want to hear or that they think will get them there. There's something when I'm reading something and I feel that person and I'm like, I want to know this person.
Right.
I want to hear their story and I want them to put that story out. That's what gets me like to say yes.
What is the process? So I'm thinking, I want to put out a film. First thing, okay, is it the script? What comes first? What comes last? If you had to do that in a nutshell.
So if it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage.
Okay.
They say, right? So you definitely have to put the time in working and writing.
Okay.
But it's different from like writing a novel, right? Like to me, a person who writes a book is one of the most fascinating individuals to me. It's a very intimidating thing. Whereas screenwriting, writing a movie, it's a structure to it. You have a 3-act structure. You can actually go to school and learn this structure. And then you spend many, many years writing really, really bad scripts that you would never show anybody. And then hopefully through the practice of writing those screenplays, you hopefully get to a place where you can actually write something that's pretty good that then you feel like, okay, now I feel like I can turn this into a movie. And now you go through the process, which is then even more of a daunting process of trying to find investors and financiers to make this before you get within the studio system of making films. And that's a very, very challenging adventure, but it's also exciting too, because once you get one person to believe in you, then things start to really fall in place. And then actors, the best way to engage actors is write something that an actor would want to portray on screen.
Now, it's beautiful that you mentioned music and other forms of arts. Now, they have genres. Would you say that it's fine as a filmmaker to find your niche? Or would you say, you know what, you can do it all? Why put yourself in a box? What do you think?
I think it's important to know and recognize your voice. I think, however long it takes. For me, I love, dramas and particularly telling stories about love. And, even if I go back to my short form work, it's like, even though those films weren't necessarily about romance, they were about relationships and love. So I think it's important to tell the stories that you're most passionate about. And, usually you'll find that a certain theme keeps popping up.
What are your hopes, of course, being here and as well meeting these 50 filmmakers? What is your hope and what do you hope to gain from this?
Okay, I'm here because we have been working now in 18 countries. We are beginning to embrace other countries, and a lot of those new countries that we're going to embrace are in Africa, Nigeria being one of them. So in order to do that, we need to come and learn as much as we can about filmmakers and the filmmaking industry here in Nigeria, which is very vibrant. Then after meeting these filmmakers, I'm looking for people who are right for the program. The most immediate thing that I want to achieve with this trip, that I was just asked a few minutes ago about that, is I want to find the filmmakers that will make me say yes here in Nigeria.
Finally, advice to anyone who wants to pursue, of course, being a filmmaker. What do you have to tell them?
The advice.
It could be anything.
Well, I think one of the first things is if you do what you love in life, you won't ever have to work a day in your life. And I think that what happens a lot in our society is that money or the idea of capitalism gets assigned to something. But when you're an artist, it is the effect of how you inspire people's hearts and the way that you can change people's lives through the power of storytelling. That is priceless.
Right. I like that. Thank you so much.
My man.
Now, there is no doubt that the Nigerian creative industry has the potential to dominate on a global scale, with, in fact, the creative sector providing over 4 million jobs and Nollywood being the second largest film industry in the world. There's no telling how far we will go as a nation with more investment. My name is Sam Dandy, this is News Center Television.